Jasmine isn't prioritizing getting divorced. The lawyer is going to tell you how it is if she was to divorce Gino and then marry me all before the baby is here. You guys don't have that amount of time. You're still legally married under the eyes of the law. He can claim rights as a father. So you're telling me that he's going to be the father of the baby? Fiancé? Never been short of drama, but the latest twist involving Gino Palazzolo, Jasmine Pineda, and her new partner Matt Brownies might just be the wildest yet. Viewers are shocked, confused, and glued to their screens as a shocking legal loophole in American law threatens to turn Jasmine's entire world upside down. You heard that right, Gino. Palazzolo, Jasmine's estranged husband, could actually have the legal right to claim Jasmine's newborn daughter, even though he isn't the biological father. Yes, Jasmine has moved on with Matt Brownies. Yes, she welcomed a beautiful baby girl with him. But under the law, that doesn't erase the fact that when she got pregnant, she was still legally married to Gino, and that one technicality could change everything. Imagine this Gino, the man Jasmine wanted out of her life, suddenly stepping in with legal rights over her baby, not because of DNA, but because of paperwork. Matt Brownies, who should be enjoying the happiness of fatherhood, is now stuck in a nightmare scenario. He admitted on camera that he has been begging Jasmine to finalize her divorce, warning her over and over that this legal loophole could come back to haunt them. But Jasmine, still emotionally entangled in her failed marriage, kept dragging her feet, not realizing how dangerous the situation could become. So Matt took matters into his own hands. He arranged for Jasmine to meet with a lawyer, and that's when the devastating truth hit her like a ton of bricks. The lawyer explained that because Jasmine was still legally Mrs. Palazzolo when she got pregnant, Gino could actually be recognized as the baby's legal father. Not Matt. Not the man who biologically fathered the child, but Gino. Jasmine broke down in tears. She couldn't even process the idea that the man she accused of controlling her, the man she claimed only wanted to deport her, could now have a claim over her daughter. Viewers watched as she said her world was crashing down, her worst fears unfolding before her eyes. Meanwhile, Gino isn't exactly sitting quietly in the background. No, he's been keeping tabs, and he's furious. He recently revealed that he had calculated every single dollar he ever spent on Jasmine, from flights to wedding expenses to their time in Panama. The total? A jaw-dropping dollar comma. And he wants it all back. Gino has made it very clear everything with Jasmine was a waste, and he's ready to make her pay. But is this about money or revenge? Because in his mind, Jasmine used him. She got into America on his dime, and now she's building a new life with another man. Gino believes he deserves payback. And what better way to make Jasmine taste her own medicine than to use the law against her? This leaves Jasmine stuck in a terrifying limbo. Matt Brownies is desperate for her to cut all ties with Gino once and for all. He has openly declared his love for Jasmine and their child. But Jasmine? She's paralyzed. She admitted that she can't even bear to finalize, as if doing so would force her to confront the failure of her marriage. And that hesitation might cost her everything, because hey raised the harsh reality. If Jasmine gets deported to Panama, the law could recognize Gino, not Matt, not Jasmine, as the baby's legal guardian. That would mean Gino could claim custody, and neither Jasmine nor Matt would have any legal authority over the child. Think about that. The man Jasmine walked away from could end up with her daughter. Viewers were left stunned. Some asked why Jasmine didn't just put Matt's name on the birth certificate from the beginning. Others accuse her of dragging out the divorce just for storyline drama. But whether it's carelessness or procrastination, the consequences are real. And Gino, he knows it. He's already said he has no intention of divorcing Jasmine until the timing suits him. In other words, Jasmine is at his mercy. He's holding the cards, and he's holding her future. This isn't just a love triangle anymore. This is a legal battlefield, a fight between biology and law, between love and vengeance. And at the center of it all is a little girl, innocent, vulnerable, and at risk of being torn away from her mother. Well, Jasmine, finally take Matt's plea seriously and cut ties with Gino before it's too late. Or will Gino use the law? Snatched Jasmine's daughter away, The clock is ticking and the drama is only just beginning. When it comes to Day Fiancé, few stars have been as unforgettable as Chantel Everett. From her fiery personality to her on-screen family drama, Chantel has always had fans talking. But this time, the spotlight isn't on her love life. It's on her body. Chantel has just undergone a major transformation, and viewers can't stop buzzing about it. After years of speculation, whispers of implants, and countless accusations, Chantel has finally revealed the truth. She has had breast reduction surgery, removing a jaw-dropping pound from her chest. And the results? Absolutely stunning. Chantel looks like a completely different woman. For years, fans speculated that Chantel had enhanced her figure. Social media was filled with rumors claiming her curves weren't natural, but Chantel always fought back. She proudly declared that her bust was God-given, but hay raised the part viewers didn't see. The gift came with a heavy price, literally. Chantel admitted that her naturally large bust was causing her chronic back pain and interfering with her everyday life on national television. She opened up about her struggles. "I get the backaches, but getting rid of the most fabulous books I've ever known is very heartbreaking." It was a raw and honest confession. Chantel wasn't ready to say goodbye to the part of her body that fans often admired, but her health demanded it. When Chantel finally decided to undergo breast reduction, her surgeon documented the entire process, and fans were shocked by what they saw. The doctor explained how she carefully began on one side, removing excess tissue and skin, sculpting Chantel's chest into a lighter, more balanced shape. The footage revealed a dramatic before and after, one side completed, the other untouched. The difference was so extreme that fans finally understood the pain Chantel had been living with. By the end of the procedure, the surgeon had removed approximately lbs from one side and lbs from the other. A total of pound gone. The doctor proudly announced that Chantel now had proportional, natural-looking curves that would not only ease her pain but also give her a completely refreshed appearance. As soon as Chantel's new look was revealed, the reaction online was explosive. Many fans flooded social media with support, praising her for putting her health first. One commenter wrote, "She looks incredible. You can tell the weight has been lifted not just from her back, but from her spirit." Another fan said Chantel made the best decision of her life. "She looks healthier, happier, and more confident." Even her surgeon agreed, saying that Chantel's back and shoulders would finally thank her for this life-changing decision. But make no mistake, this wasn't just a physical change for Chantel. The surgery was deeply emotional. She admitted that parting with her natural bust, the feature that made her stand out, was bittersweet. "It's heartbreaking," she said. Necessary. Chantel confessed that while her chest had always been her proudest physical trait, it had become a burden. What once gave her confidence had turned into constant pain, discomfort, and limitation. In choosing the surgery, Chantel wasn't just changing her body. She was reclaiming her life. Now, Chantel Everett has emerged with a refined, elegant silhouette. Her body looks more balanced, and fans are calling her transformation one of the most empowering moves in Day Fiancé star has ever made. It's not about vanity anymore. It's about health. It's about confidence. It's about freedom. And Chantel has proven once again that she's not afraid to take control of her narrative. From rumors of implants to the reality of a painful truth, Chantel Everett has shed more than just pounds. She shed years of discomfort, doubt, and whispers. Today, she stands stronger, lighter, and ready for a brand new chapter in the world of Day Fiancé. Few couples have stirred as much frustration and pity from fans as Brandon Gibbs and Julia Trichina. Their love story has been plagued not just by cultural clashes or distance, but by something far closer to home. Brandon's suffocating attachment to his parents. And now the tension has reached new heights. Instead of standing up for his life, Brandon has once again crumbled under pressure, this time in the most awkward and embarrassing way yet. From the very beginning, viewers noticed Brandon's dependence on his mother, Betty. He was branded a mama's boy, someone who seemed more committed to pleasing his parents than supporting his own wife, Julia, strong-willed. Outspoken, has never been afraid to call out what she sees as manipulation and control. To her, Betty and Ron weren't just in-laws, they were intruders in her marriage. Julia's resentment toward her in-laws was no secret. She often clashed with Betty, accusing her of crossing boundaries and meddling in her private life. So when the time came for her, parents to visit America, Julia made a bold move. She packed Betty's belongings into boxes, cleared out her room, and prepared the space for her mom's arrival. To Julia, it was a symbolic stand. Her house, her rules, her family first. But to Brandon, it was a betrayal. Seeing his mother's things shoved aside was too much for him. Tension immediately flared. Brandon was visibly uncomfortable, while Julia was firm and unapologetic. And then came the breaking point. Betty and Ron, unable to respect boundaries, showed up at the couple's house uninvited. What was supposed to be a quiet, intimate family moments spiraled into chaos. Julia had finally had enough. She unleashed her fury, accusing them of being nosy, controlling, and invasive. Her words were sharp, raw, and unapologetic. She demanded respect and even told them to respectfully F off. Ron, furious, turned the blame back on Julia, accusing her of driving a wedge between their son and his parents. Betty jumped in, pointing the finger squarely at her daughter-in-law, once again painting Julia as the problem. And then, in an explosion of anger, Betty went further, telling Julia to go back to Russia if she couldn't handle her family. This was the moment fans were waiting for, the moment Brandon would finally defend his wife and stand up to his parents. But instead of rising to the occasion, Brandon crumbled. He didn't shield Julia. He didn't tell Betty and Ron to back off. He didn't even try to mediate. Instead, Brandon dropped to the floor in a dramatic meltdown, sobbing and shutting down like a child throwing a tantrum. The sight left fans stunned, embarrassed, and even angry. The backlash online was swift and brutal. A Reddit thread called him out as a little bitch ass, with one fan writing he needs to grow a pair and stand up to his parents. Others compared his collapse to that of a toddler, saying the way he drops to the floor is like a kid throwing themselves back when they don't get their way. For viewers, this wasn't just an awkward TV moment. It was proof of a much deeper problem. Julia has fought tirelessly to carve out her place in her marriage, to demand independence from in-laws who refuse to let go. Yet every time Brandon's inability to grow a backbone has left her to fend for herself, fans have long argue that Betty and Ron need to take a step back and allow the couple to live their lives without constant interference. But equally, they feel Brandon has to make a choice, be his wife's partner or remain his parents' obedient child. The irony. Julia has never shied away from confrontation. She knows exactly what she wants and has no problem voicing it. Meanwhile, Brandon continues to shrink in the face of conflict, leaving Julia not only isolated but also publicly humiliated. Now the cracks in their relationship are more visible than ever. Julia's fierce independence clashes directly with Brandon's emotional dependency, creating explosive arguments that keep fans glued to the screen. And while Julia has grown tired of being blamed, Brandon's tears have become his only defense mechanism, a pattern that viewers are starting to see as manipulation, whether he realizes it or not. At the end of the day, Julia's demand is simple: respect boundaries, protect the marriage, and prioritize his wife. But Brandon's refusal to act, as fans questioning whether this couple can survive long-term. Because in marriage, love is supposed to come with partnership, with protection, with loyalty. But right now, Julia Trakina is standing alone while Brandon Gibbs, caught between his parents and his wife, crumbles to the floor. And fans are left asking the same question. If Brandon can't grow a backbone now, will he ever on day Fiancé the other way? Weddings are supposed to be magical, glamorous, and unforgettable. But for Madeline Perez, her first wedding look is unforgettable for a completely different reason. Yes, viewers finally got a glimpse of her bridal appearance, and while she hoped for elegance, luxury, and envy from her fans, she ended up sparking laughter, disbelief, and a storm of memes instead. And the culprit? None other than her bizarre choice of footwear. Madeline has never hidden the fact that her wedding is the most important day of her life. She wanted nothing less than a fairy tale, sparing no expense and making sure every detail screamed perfection. From the decorations to the gown, from the venue to the dramatic entrance, she wanted it all. But her dream wedding came at a price, and that price was paid, quite literally, by Luke, her fiancé. He was already struggling with financial woes this season. Fans have watched the tension build as Luke drained his wallet, trying to keep up with his Colombian bride's endless demands. She had turned into what many called a bridezilla, pushing him beyond his limits, demanding top-notch everything. Luke tried to hold it together, but the cracks were showing. At one point, he confessed he had simply run out of money before the nuptials. The man was financially tapped out, and while he tried to reason with Madeline, reminding her that love mattered more than money, she wasn't having it. Her words cut sharp. Don't get married if you can't pay the bills. Gaslighting, manipulation, or simply a woman unwilling to compromise on her lifelong dream, that's for fans to decide. Still, nothing prepared viewers for what was about to come next. A preview clip of the upcoming episodes revealed Madeline's bridal look. It was supposed to be breathtaking, a once-in-a-lifetime entrance. And it certainly was, but not for the reason she hoped. Picture this. A helicopter descends from the sky. Out steps Madeline, her hair flowing loose, her body wrapped in a sheer deep neck, white gown that left little to the imagination. She accessorized lightly, letting her bold fashion statement take center stage. Everything about the moment screamed drama, wealth, and extravagance. But then the camera panned down, and that's when fans lost it. Because instead of heels, instead of elegant bridal shoes, Madeline Perez was wearing purple sports shoes. Yes, you heard that right, purple sneakers paired with a see-through bridal gown. The image spread like wildfire. Fans took to Reddit to mock, roast, and I sucked her unusual footwear user bluntly asked, "Are those purple Crocs or some kind of shoes?" Another wondered if Madeline had secretly decided to become a sports bride. The memes rolled in, and the internet had its field day. But the criticism didn't stop there. Some viewers couldn't take their eyes off a recent breast augmentation, claiming it looked painful and unnatural. Fan even commented they looked so uncomfortable. Who even paid for them? Others mocked the gown itself, pointing out the lack of fabric and asking, "That's the expensive dress. That see-through thing really?" For many, it wasn't just a questionable choice. It was a total disaster. What was meant to be her big fashion moment quickly spiraled into ridicule instead of admiration. She became the internet's latest joke. And yet, questions remain. Was this really her wedding dress? Or was it just an engagement outfit? TLC has not confirmed whether this was the official bridal gown or another extravagant look leading up to the ceremony. Fans are left wondering if Madeline truly plans to walk down the aisle in that outfit and those purple sneakers. Through it all, Luke stood silently in front of the helicopter, helping his bride walk, supporting her. Despite his growing financial and emotional strain, viewers couldn't help but notice the contrast. Madeline glowing with self-indulgent pride while Luke appeared worn down, silently enduring her demands. Madeline Perez wanted perfection. She wanted luxury. She wanted a wedding the world would remember. And she got it. Just not the way she expected. Because in the end, her bridal moment wasn't remembered for glamour. It was remembered for purple sneakers, awkward surgery results, and a gown that left fans scratching their heads. One thing's for sure. Madeline Perez's wedding entrance may not go down in Fiancé history as the most glamorous, but it will definitely go down as one of the most talked about. And with this season still unfolding, the real question is, will Madeline's obsession with extravagance cost her more than just money? Could it cost her Luke and the very marriage she's been fighting for?